My name is Byron Snellgrove. I'm the Director of Public Safety here at the City of Casey. Next to me is Margaret Fisher. She is the coroner for Lexington County. Since our last briefing this morning, we have had several developments to share with you. It is with extremely heavy hearts that we are announcing that we have found a body that the coroner has identified as Faye Marie Swetlik. We are now treating this case as a homicide. As this community has been working hard to find Faye and bring her home safely, we wanted you to know as soon as possible. At this time, no arrests have been made. You need to know that this is a fluid investigation and that we are working diligently on it. We also need to inform you that during the course of our investigation, a deceased male was located in the Churchill Heights neighborhood. That investigation has just begun. At this time, we feel there is no danger to the community. We will continue to provide more information as it becomes available. We will not be taking questions. Thank you.
No danger to the community. We were told, Darcy, at 10:45 there would be no new update today unless there were some new developments, and this is certainly a sad and tragic development in this case.
It is. For those of you who are just joining us, a quote from Director Snellgrove. He said, "It is with extremely heavy hearts that we have found the body of Faye Marie Swetlik, 6 years old, first grader in school. She's been missing since Monday afternoon. Her mother called police when Faye got off the school bus and allegedly played in her front yard for a while and then disappeared. As JR just mentioned, that deceased male was located in her neighborhood, the Churchill Heights neighborhood. But outside of that, law enforcement has not drawn a parallel between that male's body being found and Faye's body.
This is a story that has gripped the Midlands and, in fact, the entire state and part of the country now, because the story has gone national since little Faye went missing on Monday. A lot of people have a lot of interest in the story, Darcy, and certainly a lot of people were hoping for a better outcome than we got today. Notification that Faye's body has been found. Again, no questions given by the media, no questions taken by the director of the Casey Public Safety Department. This is a live look outside the neighborhood, and earlier this morning, I guess about an hour and a half ago, they actually put those cars there at the Churchill Heights neighborhood, Darcy, blocking all traffic from entering the neighborhood, correct?
They did this morning. We know that there have been more than 250 law enforcement officers working to locate Faye since she disappeared on Monday. A multi-agency investigation, including everything from SLED, Lexington County Police Department, to the FBI, including but not limited to those law enforcement agencies. That 10:45 update this afternoon with Sergeant Evan Antley. The breaking news out of that update 3 hours ago was that the public was very instrumental in locating or helping to locate the occupants of two of the vehicles, one of the vehicles that they had released photos of just yesterday, and they were still working to determine who was in that other vehicle. But we did not get any additional information about whether or not law enforcement has been able to identify the people who were in that car.
All right, so the breaking news this hour, two bodies have been found. Two bodies found, that of Faye Marie Swetlik and a man also found dead in that same neighborhood. Jacob Reynolds is standing by. He's been on this story from the very beginning. He's joining us with more on these new developments. Jacob?
JR, a very emotional Casey Department of Public Safety Director Byron Snellgrove telling the room that they have found the body of 6-year-old Faye Swetlik. He didn't release a lot of details. He said the investigation is still ongoing. They've not made any arrests at this time. And then at the end of that press conference, he did announce, like you've been saying, They found another body of a deceased male in the Churchill Heights neighborhood. He said that investigation was just beginning. He said they were not going to take any questions. We have no idea at this time if those are connected or if they were found at the same place. So there is a lot we do not know right now, but a heartbreaking development in this story. 4 days after she was reporting missing, 6-year-old Faye Swetlik, her body has been found by law enforcement. And at the scene over at Churchill Heights, we had noticed a lot of law enforcement activity this morning and into the early afternoon. The roadway in was completely blocked. That was not how it looked yesterday. They had law enforcement vehicles with their lights on blocking that entire entryway. Another one of our reporters had heard from a resident that he could not get to his house in the neighborhood and was not told when he would be allowed to return. We saw another group of vehicles turn into that neighborhood right after the press conference earlier this morning had ended, so we don't know if all of that is related. There, of course, was also activity we notated last night, so without being able to ask questions, we still don't know a lot of the information about what's going on here. But once again, a very heartbreaking development. 6-year-old Faye Swetlik, her body found. He did not specify where exactly that body was found. Another deceased male also found in the Churchill Heights neighborhood. They said that investigation was beginning, and that at this time we do not know if those are connected. JR, Darcy?
Right, Jacob, but the Director Snellgrove, said that this time they do not believe there is any danger to the community. So a lot of people out there, they're going to just automatically think, okay, if there's no danger to the community, what's the deal here? We have a dead child we've been looking for since Monday, and now we have a deceased male in the very same neighborhood. A lot of people are going to be putting 2 and 2 together, trying to come up with 4 this afternoon.
And JR, I can't speak to that. There's a lot we don't know right now. Just going off what the director said, he had said the investigation into Faye Swetlik's recovery was ongoing, and of course the investigation into this deceased man is just beginning. Like we said, a very emotional director when he began this press conference. Earlier this morning they had announced that they did talk to one of the cars that they were looking for. They were still looking to talk to the other one. We do not know at this time if that is related to information they got. At this time, really all we know is what we've seen and what we just heard from the director, that increased law enforcement activity in the neighborhood throughout the morning, and then of course the news you heard about Faye's body being found, and then of course this other man's body that we really don't have any details about.
Jacob, we're going to take a break from you for just a second. For anybody who is just joining us now for this breaking news, if you were not with us in the last 10 minutes, you have not heard from Director Snellgrove, the KC Public Safety Director, on how they found Faye's body and what he had to say about this recent development. Let's listen in.
Developments to share with you. It is with extremely heavy hearts that we are announcing that we have found the body that the coroner has identified as Faye Marie Swetlik. We are now treating this case as a homicide. As this community has been working hard to find Faye and bring her home safely, we wanted you to know as soon as possible. At this time, no arrests have been made. You need to know that this is a fluid investigation and that we are working diligently on it. We also need to inform you that during the course of our investigation, a deceased male was located in the Churchill Heights neighborhood. That investigation has just begun. At this time, we feel there is no danger to the community. We will continue to provide more information as it becomes available. We will not be taking questions. Thank you.
All right, again, that was the Director of KC Public Safety, Byron Snellgrove, just moments ago announcing that the body of Faye Marie Swetlik has been found. This investigation is now a homicide investigation, but the body of a man also found in connection with this investigation, Darcy.
Director Snellgrove says there's no danger to the community, and as you just mentioned, JR, they are treating this as a homicide, but there have been no arrests made. Obviously, this is not the outcome any of us expected. We were all hoping that this little girl would come home safely to her family.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking that this search has ended this way, and I don't know how the community recovers from something like this.
You know, yesterday when they said they had expanded the search, when they said, well, we're expanding the search now. We're taking it outside the actual neighborhood, closer out to the interstate, closer to the creek. I know you and I talked off the air about that. There was a lot of speculation about why they would do that. Well, they have gone to these homes door to door. They've knocked on them. They've gone inside homes. They've questioned the neighbors. They have been doing a thorough investigation since Monday when this child was missing. So yesterday when they said, well, we're expanding the search area, I think a lot of people thought, okay, now they're thinking perhaps she wandered away. Maybe she's lost in the woods out toward the interstate. Perhaps she is just waiting to be found, crying, doesn't know where she is. And maybe that's why they've expanded the search. But a lot of things have happened in the last several hours. This investigation has taken a complete 180. And so instead of expanding the search out toward that area, they researched the neighborhood yesterday. They kicked all the media out, you may recall, kicked all the media out. And then this morning, a flurry of activity, and now we know why.
News 19's Nick Jones is going to continue our team coverage. He's right outside of the Churchill Heights neighborhood where Faye lived. And Nick, I know over the last 3 days you've had an opportunity not only to speak with residents, but business owners in that community who were all hoping for the same thing that we were, and that is that Faye would have been found safely.
Yeah, a lot of the members in the community here in KC, Springdale, West Columbia, they're most certainly heartbroken after finding out the news of the discovery